Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am super excited to talk to you guys about a new launch within Biologique Recherche that the Embassy.Of.Beauty is going to be launching. So super excited. It is going to be the Crème, Verte, Espoir AR. Okay, so the difference with this product, what is it, who's it for, super excited. So let's just talk about just generally first the texture of this. I mean, ooh, it is beautiful. So you can see the pot, let me just take that off. There's the pot, and then inside you can see it's like this beautiful, doesn't it just look like caramel, like a dulce de leche type of, it's just, and guys, it doesn't smell. It doesn't smell. Okay, so in terms of consistency and how it feels, oh, I haven't got a spatula. I'm gonna use this. Using a Q-tip. There we go. So in terms of how it feels, you can see it on my right there. Oh my God. I mean, this is like butter. It is whipped butter. You know when you go to those really super fancy restaurants and they give you like the butter that they have whipped, especially just before they brought it to your table, and it's usually like flavored with salt or lavender or like rose or cinnamon, I don't know what. I mean, it's usually like they whip it with some sort of flavor. This is exactly like the consistency and the way that it spreads like butter. I mean, it is beautiful, beautiful. Doesn't smell, it feels really cooling to the skin. I've just put a lot on my hands and I'm telling you guys, this feels like amazing. So, who's it for? Wow, it really spreads as well. Like, it really spreads. So who's it for? This is formulated, particularly directly for skins which are affected with rosacea. Rosacea. So I thought that to begin with, I wanted to introduce you guys to the cream and the product and have you see it first of all, because that's what's so exciting, right? But I really want to talk about rosacea first, and then we're going to go into like what's in it, what makes it so great, and that'll be it. So firstly, rosacea, what is it? Who gets it? What does it feel like? What does it look like? Everything to do with that. Also, just before I get into that, hello, I'm in a hoodie. I'm in a hoodie and I am talking to you guys. So I just want to say this, right? Before lockdown, if you would have asked me like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I don't know, before March, basically, if I would have ever conducted a meeting or done a YouTube video in a hoodie, I'd have said, no way. But you know what? I've been talking to all these people all around the world, and every single time I saw them at the beginning of lockdown, I'm speaking to them via Zoom or via, I don't know how to set these Teams, I think it's called, right? They're always in hoodies, and I'm always dressed up in my silk blouses and, you know, like really sort of spruced up. And they're in their hoodies all relaxed, looking cool, very looking LA-like, very cool. And I'm like, you know what? I want to get into this. And so I got into it. It took me about a month into the second lockdown. So like, I don't know when it started, when it began, but it took me a month to get into it. And I like it. I love that I feel relaxed. I love that I'm feeling like comfortable. I'm loving that there's no wrinkles. There's nothing I need to iron out. What do you think? Do I look unprofessional? Is this gonna be like a UK new culture thing? Let me know what you think. All right, back to the products. Back to the product, that's what you guys are watching me for. Let's do this. So, rosacea. So rosacea is a skin infliction let's call it an affliction. It's a skin affliction which usually occurs or affects people who have fair skins, so Eastern Europeans, English people, Russian people, like the fairer skin types and fairer skin colors. Those fairer skins also tend to be a lot lighter, thinner in thickness. What is wrong with me today? Woo! Okay, let's try and make this smoother, Nat, for the rest of the video. Okay, so they tend to be fairer skins. Those fairer skins also tend to be thinner, and therefore they are more reactive and sensitive, and therefore are also more prone to rosacea. Rosacea can also be genetic. So if you have a brother or a sister or a father or a mother or a grandparent who has it, you are much more likely to get it. There are 3 stages. There are 4 stages within rosacea, but one of them is really rare. And basically you always start with the first stage and then you sort of progress to stage 2, 3, and 4 if you do not deal with it properly. So if you deal with it and you treat it appropriately using the right products, etc., then you can almost nullify it completely to the point that you don't actually see it, feel it, have it, but it's like an ongoing thing that you need to treat it. So level 1 or grade 1 is a flush to the skin. So it sort of looks like a red, like you've just gone for a run or you've just been a little bit embarrassed, and it's just like a flush to your cheeks, to your nose, to your forehead. Those are usually the main areas that get affected. And it's just a flush and it can last a few minutes and then it goes away. Grade 2 is that same flush, but it lasts a lot longer, and then you can also see the capillaries or the veins. You can see the actual delineations of those veins on the surface of your skin. Stage 3 is when the structure of your skin has changed. So that usually looks like a little bit of a rash. Your skin will like look and feel bumpier, like a rash basically. And all of those stages, you can bring it down to 0 by treating it appropriately. Stage 4, however, you can't. Once you're at stage 4, you can't treat it with product anymore. You can still treat it, but that is when the structure of your skin changes. And this usually happens on the nasal area. It also mainly affects men as opposed to women. I think it's 80% men as opposed to women. So us ladies are lucky with that one. We don't tend to get that one so easy. And it basically makes your skin create more layers of skin over the top of it. So when you see those caricatures of men that actually French men who drink a lot of red wine, there are these caricatures, you know, in Montmartre in Paris, where you have the painters, you know, doing sketches of people, and you see those French men with a cigar and a big glass of red wine, and they have a big nose. That's a rosacea nose. That's when it's bulbous. I think it's called a bulbous nose, I'm not quite sure. But when you have that, you need almost to shave or cut the skin off, and you can do that via laser treatments, where you have the laser which just shaves the outer layers of the skin to almost reshape the nasal area. But you can't, once you get to that creams are not going to help that. You need to physically remove those layers. With rosacea, when it flares up, so whether it's level grade 1, 2, 3, or 4, it can flare up, and it's different for everybody. I have so many clients, and it's so interesting to hear all of their feedback and their experiences regarding their skin and regarding rosacea, because it's not something that I've ever experienced. So especially with skins and skin afflictions that I have not experienced, it's really important for me to understand them. So I always ask so many questions, and you know, the reactions range from different temperatures, to getting excited, to drinking wine, red wine or white wine, or it could be a spirit. They could get it with red wine and not with white wine. They could get it with certain vintages and not with others. Like, it's crazy. Spicy foods, saunas, when it's cold, AC, heating. I mean, basically it's changes in your environment and changes in what you are putting in your body, just reactions to your body. And it's super important. What I've realized is these creams are great, and these products which are anti-rosacea are great. Changing your diet is great. But really what I have figured out and what my clients say to me is what is absolutely crucial when you have rosacea is trying to identify what your particular triggers are. So for example, if you figure out that your trigger is red wine, Bordeaux, I don't know, I'm just putting it out there, right? Then you have a choice. Then you can say, okay, that's one of my triggers, or that's my biggest trigger. When I drink that stuff, I flare up. Then you have a choice. You can either think, okay, so listen, I can either get a bit red from time to time, I don't mind it so much, or I do mind it and I can stop drinking that red wine. And what I've seen with these types of inflammatory reactions, whether it be an allergy or whether it be rosacea, whether it be eczema or psoriasis or any of these sort of inflammatory things, is that if you give your body a rest for a long period of time, I'm talking a couple of years, and you let it almost rebuild naturally, and then you try that trigger a few years later, just a little bit, and gently reintroduce it into your life, it usually works. Because you've given your body a chance to strengthen and to be able to fight it instead of just keep triggering it over and over and over and over again. So I think that that's a really, really good tip. Beyond products, lifestyle choices, healthy choices are also really, really, really important. It doesn't only go for rosacea, it goes for everything. But at this particular point, yeah, try and identify whether it's the wine or whether it's the pollution or whether it probably won't be the pollution, but whether it's heat or whether it's the cold or whatever it is, or could be even the cosmetics that you're using. You know, have your cosmetics got essential oils in them? If they have and you have rosacea, really not a good idea. Have your cosmetics got alcohol content within them, like alcohol denat especially, and if that's at the top of the list, like towards the ingredients list and the products that you're using, cut that out as well. There are a lot of ingredients which are aggravating to the skin, and if you have rosacea, they are going to particularly aggravate your skin as opposed to somebody who has a balanced skin and they're not really going to feel the effects of that. That being said, let's go through what happens with rosacea, what you need to do with rosacea, and how we're gonna sort it out. So in terms of product, so hold on, I also forgot one thing. What is a huge complication is acne. So this is like a subtype of rosacea almost. So you can have acne, which is to do with your sebum regulation, and it's to do with oils basically, and bacteria and all of that kind of stuff. On the other hand, you can have acne rosacea, and that is totally different. And both of them are to be treated totally differently. And a lot of the time, customers cannot tell the difference between acne rosacea and rosacea, or they don't even know acne rosacea exists. So if you have this odd breakout and it's on your cheeks or your forehead particularly, so not on your jawline, just on the apples of your cheeks and on your forehead, and you don't really tend to see it anywhere else on your body, on your back, and you don't have an oily tendency to your skin, if you tend to have a dry skin, if you have a thin skin, and if you have a fair skin, please go to your clinic, go to your therapist, go to your dermatologist, go to whoever is within this industry and ask them the question, is this acne rosacea or is this normal sebaceous acne? Because if you treat acne rosacea in the way that people are treating sebaceous acne, you are harming it. You are making it worse. You are like, it's like totally terrible. So that's really, really important to tell the difference. The main difference that you're going to see between the two is the oily skin versus the dry skin. Okay, if you have oily skin, it's going to be probably normal acne. If you have a dry skin or a normal skin that isn't emitting so many oils and you have these huge breakouts and it's hot and it's tingling, because normal acne is not tingly or hot. Okay, that is not what normal acne feels like. So I think this is super, super, super important, because we have had a lot of clients come in and they are buying the Masque Vivant and the Biologique mask, and they're putting the Irribiol on there, and they're putting the lotion P50s on there, and it's like, oh no, please stop. So yeah, really important to decipher and tell the difference between the two. So in terms of what happens to your skin when you have any type of rosacea, level 1, 2, 3, 4, or subtype acne rosacea, the first thing that you have is you have a compromised lipidic barrier. So you know that balance that I go on and harp on about all of the time, that shield that you have on the skin, the hydrolipidic shield, that is always going to be compromised when you have a rosacea affected skin. So that always needs to be reinforced. Always and forever, even when you're not feeling the effects of rosacea and we get it to a point where you're not seeing it or feeling it, you still need to make sure that that barrier is there, and that means making sure that you are putting a cream or an oil on your skin, because otherwise it's going to come back. That's the first thing. The second thing is hypersensitivity. So hypersensitivity means, obviously, like I've said, you know, you react, your skin is reacting to things. So whether it be the sun, the weather, the cold, the heat, the food you're eating, the drink you're drinking, I mean, a nightmare, right? But you are reactive. So that is the other thing that is happening in your skin, is hypersensitivity. When you have the two things above, what happens is that you have a vascular disruption in your skin. And that means vascular is basically anything to do with veins, it's to do with your capillaries, and it disrupts that whole thing that's happening with your veins, and they become much more active, and that's why you have the red flushes, and that's why you can see them. And then lastly, you have the inflammation mechanism. Inflammation, such a pain. So the inflammation mechanism it's in your body, we all have it. So when you have inflammation in your body, anywhere in your body, it's that your body believes it has been harmed somewhere in some way. And how your body reacts to that is that it inflames that area, and then it's like what am I trying to figure out? You know, when you're at sea and you have those lighthouses that like beam out light and say, oh, this is home, this is home, this is home, come home, this is land. That's what the inflammation process does. It's like a beam telling your body, come here, everybody, come heal this part of the body. And so it sends everything to that part of the body to heal it. And in my mind, I always see it like war, like, you know, like you have like these troops and they're all marching like to that certain area, and they're all going to heal it. So that's what happens generally with inflammation, and it happens with rosacea as well. Rosacea is an inflammatory, what did I call it at the beginning? I don't want to call it a disease, because it's so wrong to call it a disease. It's not a disease. Well, it is a disease, but it's not, you know, it's not that morbid. It just really isn't. But it's an inflammatory process. Let's change the name. It's inflammatory, okay? When that happens, when you have any sort of inflammation, you feel the burning a little bit, you feel the tingling, like the prickling feeling. That's totally normal, and that's what the inflammation does. The other thing, which is not so great, that the inflammation does, is that it increases the vascular permeability. And what that means is that your veins have walls in them, or your capillaries have walls around them, right? Because they're like tubes. And when inflammation occurs, it disrupts that, right? Because you have inflammation, so anything in that area moves outwards, right? Like if somebody punches you in your face, you become inflamed, you blow up. Or when you have the flu, I know my face blows up like somebody punched me in the face when I get the flu. It's like, but when you get vascularization, when you get inflammation, your veins or your capillaries get pushed a little bit to the forefront. And when that happens, the walls tend to break a little bit apart, the walls of the capillaries. And then when that happens, and this is the horrible thing, the most annoying thing about it, is that it's when it breaks apart, new veins come out. It's like, I don't know if you guys do gardening, but I know with my wisteria, if I cut a bit because I don't like the way that it's growing, if I go back to it a few months later, like that one knob where I've cut it from, it's like growing, like I've got 5 other nodules that have grown from it, and it's totally in the wrong area, and then I'm just in the wrong directions, and I'm like, why did I cut it in the first place? And that's kind of what happens with your veins. When you get the inflammation, it breaks it a little bit, breaks the walls, and then you get this thing called angiogenesis, and you get new veins growing all over the place, and then that's when you can see them. So that's almost like the second stage. It's not really the first stage, it's the second stage. So yes, you deal with the acne rosacea in the very same way as you deal with the stage 1, 2, and 3 of rosacea. So let's go into what's in this little baby right here. So the first thing, it has 3 different platforms. It has a vascular platform, which is to do with the veins. It has a protective platform, which is to do with sort of the health of your skin and the green juice of your skin. And then the third platform is the lipidic, the restorative platform. So let's go through, when I say platform, it has like these 3 actions, and then it has different actives within those actions. So I'm going to go through them so that you get it, you understand it, you know what it does. Let's get into it. For the vascular platform, we have 2 main ingredients. The first one is the anti-redness glucoside. So the anti-redness glucoside does 2 things, and to me this is like the main ingredient within the whole shebang. So the first thing it does is that it calms your skin, it soothes your skin, it makes it more resilient and less reactive to the outside triggers. So whether it be to do with what you're eating, or the heat, or the cold, whatever, it makes your skin much more resistant to it over time. So what was I saying? Okay. The anti-redness glucoside, so it's got 2 things. It's going to reduce the sensitivity, and it's going to make your capillaries much more resistant, and your skin much more resistant to the outside triggers that are affecting your skin. The other thing that it's going to do is that it is going to prevent the angiogenesis that we were talking about before. So it's going to strengthen those exact capillaries, stop them from breaking apart a little bit. I don't know why I did that. It's not like they go poof and they explode, but they sort of like, boops, they sort of like break a little. And it prevents them from then afterwards creating more capillaries that we can see that we do not want. So that is key to rosacea. That is what anybody who is affected with rosacea does not want. So that is an amazing ingredient. Then we have magnolia and orange flower extract. And this is going to really help with the inflammation process. So it's really cooling and it's really soothing, but it's also really going to help with counteracting the inflammation, because as much as inflammation helps us in our bodies, when something is not right. In this case, it's a false alarm, right? Because that's what happens with inflammatory autoimmune stuff, right? With psoriasis, eczema, and rosacea. It's like your body thinks that there's an issue, so it acts, but it doesn't need to. So it's called an autoimmune disease. It's not disease, it's autoimmune condition. It's an autoimmune condition. We've got the anti-angiogenesis, we've got the anti-inflammatory, we've got the soothing, we've got the calming, and we've got the anti-inflammatory, we said that already, and that is in the vascular platform. Next, we have the protective platform. So in the protective platform, we have the rice ester. It's a powerful antioxidant that helps trap photo-induced free radicals. So remember that this protective platform is all about the health platform for your skin, how to strengthen it internally. It's your green juice, it's your immune fighting platform, right? So this is not like the protecting platform in terms of the shield on your skin. This is the antioxidants that are going to help strengthen your skin to make it stronger from the inside out. Then what's really interesting, we have the skin protective sugar. So this is something that BR haven't really, to my knowledge, really put into their products as of now. So this is an ingredient that is going to make the flora and fauna of your skin in balance. So it's sort of like, you know, I know in the past I've had lots of gut problems, and it was, you know, all the nutritionists and all the specialists, they all told me, you know, you need to balance your flora and your fauna. And this is what this is going to do. So when you have rosacea on your skin or any sort of inflammatory reaction on your skin or inflammatory situation, condition, it's all about the fact that your skin isn't strong enough to handle the reactions that are happening to it from the outside. So this is going to help strengthen it, and it's all about probiotics and prebiotics, and I love that it's having, this particular product is having that approach, that wholesome approach to the skin. So that's really, really, really great. I'm really excited about that. And then lastly, we have the white tea leaf extract. So we've spoken about this ingredient quite a lot. It's super, super rich in polyphenols. So it's really amazing antioxidant in many different ways. So it's really going to help strengthen your skin and strengthen the immunology of your skin and make it brighter. It also has anti-aging benefits to it. It's an amazing ingredient, and I'm really, really pleased that they put it in there. And then lastly, we have the plant-based lamellar phospholipids. Phospholipids. And this is the barrier that is within the products that make it super smooth. And creates that shield on your skin. But what's really interesting about this particular ingredient that they've chosen to put in this product is that it is very, very lightweight. It sinks into the skin, but it just leaves just a ever so slight shield over the skin. So when you have rosacea, it feels hot and it feels tingly and it's uncomfortable, and the last thing you want to do is put something sticky and icky and gooey and gunky over the top of your skin. I've heard this a million times over and over again. But on the flip side, you can't have something that is just not there, because you need that shield to protect it from all the triggers which are in the environment. And so they, in this product, Biologique Recherche, have used these lamellar phospholipids to create this second skin that you can't feel so much, you can't see so much, that is super comfortable, and that is gonna help combat and help create a shield against all of those triggers. And actually, I'm just feeling my hand now. So I have really dry hands, guys, right? And I can feel this hand, I didn't put anything on it, and it feels like it always does. And this hand is dry. It is dry, but it's super soft. So it's really interesting to sort of feel it. I have had it on my hand before, but I haven't like just spoken for an hour and then sort of felt it afterwards and thought to have that action. So let me know what you think. Also, I'm really, really interested because obviously I can tell you about the products, I can tell you how it feels, I can tell you how it works, I can tell you what's in it, but I can't tell you from a personal level because I don't have rosacea and I've never had rosacea. So I would be really interested to know your feedback about your experiences with rosacea, what's worked for you, what hasn't worked for you, what triggers you had with rosacea, and then so that I can learn more about it because I'm always interested. And it is available from tomorrow. So you can buy it online, you can buy it in our clinic. So go for it. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this for a long time. The last thing I want to say is I got a question 2 weeks ago from a viewer, and they asked me what the difference was between the Crème Verte Espoir AR and the Crème Verte Espoir, the old version. So I don't know. I think this one is formulated specifically for rosacea. The other Crème Verte Espoir, and Verte Espoir by the way, guys, means green hope. But the other Crème Verte Espoir was formulated for a reactive skin or a blotchy skin. So, guys, cool, I don't know what I'm gonna say. We're out of lockdown now. So listen, enjoy freedom. Can't get into a restaurant quite yet because I didn't book in advance enough. And I have to wait another 2 weeks to get my hair cut because I also didn't organize that enough in time. My fault. But enjoy your freedom. Everybody's getting better. We have less infections. We have less hospitalizations. We have life seeming back. So happy. So happy. So guys, enjoy your skincare. Do it. It makes you happy as well as freedom. Have a lovely evening. Good night, guys.